Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's daily recap. I am Laz, and I'm filling in for Scott on this Friday afternoon. Not much to say that I didn't say this morning. I will, go through kind of the day's events. We had the jobs number this morning. Really didn't do much in terms of any real gap in the market. I think the futures were basically moderately up at the open, if at all. I spoke this morning about the whole structure that you see happening here, and I suspect as I said this morning, and I'll kind of restate it, that I think that this will probably play itself out into the end of the year. Well, okay, well, what does that mean? Well, it means that I don't suspect you're going to see a radical move, be it up or down. From this point. Now, it's the 5th of December. The last trading week of the year is typically the latest volume week of the year. And I don't know that at this point in the game the market's going to have some large push higher or lower. I do think this is going to be a tough trading month, and the reason I think I say that is because typically when markets stay in these range bound type patterns, it can cause a little bit of chaos for those that are, trying to always look for the breakout and the follow through. I do think that it's, this month could be, somewhat along the lines of this type of price action. Obviously, that remains to be seen. We're still pushing highs. You can see, even today. We saw a new intraday. This is the S&P. This is the spiders actually, but a new price spike intraday high. And at this point, I think new highs are kind of not really a not really a celebrated event. But what you're seeing here, if we look intraday, again, smaller time frames, these spike highs, again, here's that intraday price spike high, and there's really no volume happening up here, which is why you're not getting that committed drive higher. And you can see from those price spikes, you're then, rolling back to the lows. And, lo and behold, in the last 10 minutes of the trading session, you get this large, print higher, and the market closes positive on the day. This is if you're not an intraday trader that's very, very short term, and you're trying to trade the breakout, you're looking for that big surge of buying to come in up here. I think you're going to be in for a rocky road. And I said that this morning. You got to be very careful about buying highs, even though they might make a new, 52-week high or a new, intraday high. You have to be very careful. This market will turn on a dime, and that's what happens typically in range bound type of trades. We are basically at the same place we were, 10 days ago, 10 trading days ago, plus or minus. So be very careful about the way you approach this. I do think there are tactical trades out there, as I said this morning, but you really do need to dig into those. Some of the names that I've been watching personally, and these are some of the things that have been on the off the charts product. Lately, we set up a trade in Apple yesterday on this bounce. Big surge in volume down. A little 3-bar bounce with a tail here. Again, this is a tactical trading setup. Things like this, could result in another trade down here. But again, these are all tactical trades. Google today, I talked about Google in the morning call this morning. Google clearly underperforming and definitively pushing lower today. We got to break a support. A couple of days ago, we broke this, and again, you can see it labeled here. We broke this support level, we snapped back, and then, now we're starting to fail. So, not all is well in tech world. That was pretty much the theme that I talked about this morning. And you can look at a bunch of names out there that are, have been longtime leaders. Tesla, TSLA, sorry. Let's bring up the right stock. Okay, here's Tesla. again, a one-time high flyer, momentum storied stock. Clearly, as this market sits and kind of languishes, just bases at highs. This one, another one that is clearly pushing lower, coming out of this multi-week, bear flag pattern that it built, back in here. So, Tesla, another, storage stock kind of pushing lower. On the flip side of that, bank stocks continue to act well. Saw a big move today out of Goldman. Kind of been flirting this 192 area, gapping above today and giving you that one-day push. Banks have been, a good source of money flow for those looking for longs. Morgan Stanley's had a big move. Bank of America, another one I think has a lot of eyeballs. Bank of America clearly breaking out today. Here's a weekly at Bank of America. Let me get rid of some of these old lines here. But Bank of America, looks like it may be trying to push, out of this area. So banks to me still look good. I still caution buying highs, but if you're looking for long opportunities, I would start to key in on some of those names across the board, and you can do your own, due diligence there. So that's I think my takeaway. Here's Citigroup, another one pushing to highs here. Banks, money flow, banks look good. I'd be looking to buy pullbacks or any consolidations in some of those names. The general indexes, I probably, I suspect they're going to be in this choppy sideways, type of environment. Again, like I said, you might see new spike highs intraday. You could see intraday sell-offs. I wouldn't necessarily be expecting or anticipating, large directional moves. So the point is think strategically, be tactical, have a good watch list, have a good game plan. Stocks that are, breaking down are clearly there's opportunity there if you're on the short side. There is money to be made. Just because the market isn't necessarily, trading higher aggressively at this point or trading lower doesn't mean there's not opportunity. You look at, Netflix, there's been opportunity to the short side. LinkedIn looks like it's building, a case for lower prices here. Again, much like I just mentioned in Google, you get a clear break of support right here. Again, you have this, support level. It's flirted with breaking a couple times. You get a clear break here. You get that little snapback, and then, again, that next, what could potentially end up being that next leg down. Some other names, I think are worth looking at for those that are looking for some active trades. Let's bring. Here's Baidu. I'll show you the sort of the tactical here. I'm going to get rid of all this. You see here we had clearly a breakout here. I'd watch this area down here, this pullback to test this broken resistance, see if it can hold. If it can hold, you might see a little bit of a pop next week here. If it can't hold and it starts to fail, these are the type of patterns that can fail and fail aggressively. So, I would watch this. This general area here in Baidu. That's on the daily, somewhere around the low 230s. This is where the stock should effectively hold itself and potentially start to turn back up. If it can't, if you don't see the buyers step in here, this one could be setting up for, basically a breakout failure type of pattern. So I would be a watcher of Baidu into next week for a potential trade. Some other names that I've been keying on personally. On the long side, you have Home Depot. I'm eyeing it through that $100 mark. Again, these are all trades that are, on the off the charts. So we'll keep an eye on that for a breakout through 100. And there's a slew of others, obviously, that are worth watching. So it is a tape right now where you can make money on both sides. You don't have to necessarily be a bull or a bear right now. You have to be, you have to have a mentality of I'm looking to make money. And that's where I think that, you're going to be able to get ahead and survive into the end of the year. if you're, if you're leaning too hard one way or leaning too hard the other way, this will be an easy environment to get yourself into trouble. So, have a plan. Don't necessarily key in on the indexes, key in on the individual names that you're looking at. Make sure those names have, good form and structure and pattern that support, either higher or lower, because they're out there. They're out there, and there's a lot of them. And I think you'll be okay. As always, I hope everybody has a wonderful weekend, and I will talk to you later.